there's going to be times where you're not always doing okay. And that's okay. It's normal. I don't know who needs to hear this today, but I'm going to say it, and hopefully this speaks to many people in the audience. If you're at this channel, you're likely going through something. A breakup? Sure, probably. A pandemic? All of us are. A crisis of some sort. A self-limiting belief. A doubt. A trauma from your past that just won't let go. And I guess I'm here to say that it's okay to be weak. And, of course, I'm air quoting when I say weak. Because although that's the word we often use, I don't necessarily agree with the word weak. I think admitting when we need help, when we aren't doing so well, is one of the best things you can do, one of the strongest things you can admit. In a world where vulnerability and weakness can be punished and discouraged, and, even shamed. And I just don't agree with that. A long time ago on this channel, I talked about how I struggle with Anhedonia, which, for those of you who do not know, is the lack of joy. And for a while, I felt really weird about even mentioning it, There's got to be that one person you turn to. There's got to be that one fix-it person. And what will people think if that fix-it person is not doing so hot? And then I realized, yeah, maybe some people will lose faith, and that's fine. But I think for others, it will humanize me, I don't always have great days. I'm not always ready and raring to go with a big old hello. Sometimes I just don't want to get out of bed. And I think that those days are so important because they give us perspective. What is up without down? What is happy without the knowledge of sad? This is one of the things you'll find in any case. Maybe it's a breakup you're going through. Maybe it's not a breakup. Maybe it's or you know what? Maybe it's a breakup from years ago that's still affecting you today. Maybe somebody passed away. Maybe you're sick. Maybe the worst set of circumstances that you could possibly imagine are bestowing themselves onto you right now, and it can be hard to find a silver lining. Maybe you lost someone to COVID, and there's going to be one less dinner plate at the table. I'm not going to sit here and pretend you should just jump for joy. Hooray, life sucks. No. But I'd just like to point out something that keeps me going when my mental health is, for lack of a better phrase, taking a shit. And that is, in order to understand what it means to feel bad, that means at some point in my life I must have felt good. And it's not supposed to be a big, in-depth thought. It's supposed to say, hey, I feel bad now, and I need to appreciate the bad because the bad gives the good meaning, right? If I feel good all the time, and there are no levels, in its own way, that's sort of like a personal hell. Everything's positive all the time, happy all the time. Folks, I don't know about you, but when I meet somebody overly positive, I want to strangle them. And when I meet somebody overly negative all the time, I want to sit them down with ice cream and a Lifetime movie and just say, watch until you're happy. It's life, man. It's life. And we give meaning to things. And it can be so difficult because when you're set in a way, in a mode, it is so easy to just tell yourself the worst of everything is going to happen and how horrible we are and how ugly and unattractive we are and how this is the way things will always be and will always feel this way. It is just so curse word normal to do that to ourselves. But there is a time where we need to stand up and be like, okay, I've had enough of that. I've had enough of that pity party. And don't get me wrong, this is not to belittle how you feel, not in any way, shape, or form, but it is to say that sometimes we continue feeling how we're feeling because we haven't decided that it's time to feel any other way. And sometimes, like I said earlier, we need a little help. Anhedonia is something I'm going to struggle with, unfortunately, very likely the rest of my life. That is something I struggle with on a daily basis. Your struggle, whatever it may be, there's no way I can pick out from the crowd what it might be. But you know what it is. Your struggle is going to be with you, and I can't tell you the limitations of that struggle. If it's a breakup and you do the right things, yeah, you're going to feel better after a while. Maybe it's a mental health disease and you can't get rid of it, but it can be medicated. Maybe it's a death in the family, and that is sticking with you, for the rest of your life. I don't know your struggle, but what I do know is that if you need help, reach out for it. In whatever version it exists, get help. Maybe help is just talking to your best friend. Maybe help is going to a counselor. Maybe help is finding a support group. Maybe help is just reaching out to a group, a community, a collection of voices that make you feel like you're not alone. During a time where I think it's safe to say everybody feels alone, even me. I'm not always going to be strong for you guys, and you guys aren't always going to be strong for me. So let's, together, celebrate our weakness. What do you say?